So I got a little weather window. Hopefully, it's not 100%, but I'm going to give it a shot. Shouldn't be any more rain until tomorrow morning. So I'm going to try to sneak in the last of the blue paint that hasn't, the first coat of the blue paint. So I got this prepped and I got taped off on both sides over the black paint. And yeah, so I'm going to mix up a thinner coat. I'm not going to make the mistake of putting it on so thick. Thinner coat and quick, so hopefully it'll set up quicker and dry faster and beat the weather. So I'm going to mix that up right now and get it on there.
A new place, a new home for a while. Let me feel alive. Nothing to hold me back. Take my time, just enjoy the ride. A new man passing by. Life is good, best I've ever felt.
I'm not going to buy these kind of pans anymore either because stupid. They're not for this kind of roller, and they leave a pattern in the, like leave a paint pattern on the little foam roller. These are meant for those thicker matte rollers, so this pan is terrible actually, but I bought a whole bunch of them and don't have any others, and I don't feel like going back and trying to buy more with no car, so just have to live with it. Try to soften this transition up a little bit there.
I look out across the water. I smell the salt. I feel the breeze. But in my heart I hear the calling of my old home, Tennessee. We don't know where these rivers flow, or why the wind chooses when and where to blow. The sun is gonna rise each and every time.
So I'm here in the front of Resurrection and trying to clean up, but it's such a dusty mess. It's so like I'm just pissing against the wind sometimes because I really need a lot more time to try to clean this up right. But my goal before I'm leaving town is get some paint on these raw surfaces where the fiberglass repairs were made, and I actually got repairs in a lot of different places that I'd filled holes or just touched up places that needed it. And then I had the whole floor project where I raised the floor and I repaired that whole piece that was cut out. And so it goes all the way back here, and this stuff is all like 90%, finished. It just, unfortunately, if I had my way, I would spend at least a couple more weeks and I would just really go through and fine tune and make this super smooth and like the whole thing, you know what I mean? Take off all the hardware and all the little snaps and the whole, every last little thing, and just really give this place a proper like finish and paint job, and there's just no way I have time for it. So anyway, that's where we're at. So here we go with the paint on the inside over surfaces that aren't really ready yet, such as it is.
Johnson City or Memphis bound. No matter where I go, no matter what I see, I still hear the calling of Tennessee. Who we to know where these rivers flow, or why the wind chooses.
Considering that it wasn't finished with anything fully, does look a lot better with paint on it, that's for sure. And I was actually really close to finished, and so it actually could dry some more. It's raining out, so it's not going to cure real fast. But yeah, the opening for the cabinet looks good, and And the edges are, you know, everything could use a tiny bit more finishing, but, and really the floor probably doesn't matter too much. I mean, this I knew I wasn't totally done with, but now it's all watertight and sealed up good, and honestly, if you're putting flooring over it, it wouldn't really matter. So really all that matters is the edge, and that looks pretty dang good. So considering that I wasn't finished, I'm still pretty happy with it, and now I trust it will be preserved while I'm storing it, so that's good. And even with just the windows taped, the old windows taped in, it stays completely dry. So that just goes to show, I guess, that even masking tape for a short-term seal-up works just fine. I didn't want to put anything else because I'm tired of pulling residue off. So, well, I am completely out of 220 sandpaper, but I have sanded as much as I planned to sand, and I have cleaned this and then wiped it down with microfiber cloths, and so this is going to be the final coat of blue paint, the final painting of any kind, because I do not have any more days left. This is my last possible day I could paint and get things done, so I am pretty tired. And honestly, if I had more time, I would spend more time on some of this, but so I'm going to mix it up right now, put it on. The weather at the moment is ideal. It's super humid, so the paint's curing super slow, but that's the only thing that kind of sucks. But the temperature is in the mid to high 70s at the moment, which is great. So I'm going to get going on this paint while it's still warm, and then I'm going to wait as long as I possibly can to put the new windows in, so that the paint cures as much as possible, and then that's it.
The sun is gonna rise each and every time, and I've still got Tennessee on my mind. I miss the smoke on the Cumberland and the fireflies at midnight, and the color of the leaves in the fall.
Just made a huge mistake. I tripped on the pan right over the top of this hatch, which just making the best of the situation, since the hatch was leaking actually a little bit at the latch, and so I figured, and kind of needed a little refinish, and this certainly could have used a little refinish too, so I'm like, what the hell, I just kind of rolled it on, and because I'm not going to clean it all off for sure, I'll have to paint over it, so gotta be careful where I'm touching. Anyway, then I spilled on my shoe also, so I'm trying not to track it all over. It's getting kind of nuts. I'm gonna get a little bit of thinner here and wipe off a couple little things, but this I'm just gonna wait for it to dry, and I'm gonna recoat this deck anyway, so it's not the end of the world. It's just sucks to dump out that much paint. Now my roller's all covered in pine needles, because right at that same about moment, huge gust of wind came and just a shower of pine needles came flying down. But I got the paint on the front, other than the pine needles stuck to it. Okay, so just finished rolling on the last of the paint. It's all I'm going to be able to do this round of painting, so I could have probably ultimately could use 3 coats, and probably going to see a few little like roller marks, but honestly it's just nice to have it all fresh and all the fiberglass repaired, and so it's just drying now, and of course there's pine needles stuck to it, but we'll live with that. We'll brush them off. Oh, it looks so good. Only one tape line failure and one little overrun right in this area. That's a little too bad. I mean, it's fixable of course, but everything else, the line is perfect. I'm super happy with that. Tape didn't cause any problems with the paint. I let it cure plenty of time. You can actually go ahead and pop the new windows in the black area here. So that's awesome. Got a little more tape to pull though. want to get it off before it sits on there too long. Good news, on this side, tape line was perfect. Real happy about that. So just have one area on the other side to do a little touch up, but yeah, it's real good. It's getting pretty late in the evening, but I just couldn't resist trying out one of the new windows. And it fits exactly as expected. It looks awesome. So, I mean, I haven't tried the other ones yet, but some different angles on this. But yeah, it's actually tinted. It's just that the sun is setting to the other side of the boat, so you can actually see through it because the sun's on the other side. But if you get an angle, you can see the tint on it. It's pretty cool. All right, let's see if we can not have pine needles in our situation here. It's probably too much to ask.
Who are we to know where these rivers flow, or why the wind chooses when and where to blow? The sun is gonna rise each and every time, and I've still got Tennessee on. Yeah, I've still got Tennessee on my mind. Yeah.
Degrees and sunny, just the way I always wanted.
So I'm about to test fit this window. It's the first of this shape window that I'm going to try, and I brought the frame inside and it's really tight, but then I did put a lot of foam in there, so I'm hoping the window is going to actually fit. It's likely to be real tight. We're going to try it right now. I can put in the others so many times. I feel like I'm used to this. Come on. Bye. Oh man. Come on, you're like a glove. You're gonna make it. But I'm just test fitting for the first time. It's super close.
Oh my god, it's gonna be so pretty.
Yeah. I'm gonna get it in there. God, it's so close. Come on. And we're gonna see if it's easy just to trim a little bit. It's so close. And this is real rough surface up here. Aha! That did it. It's gonna work. Now let's clean up the mess and get it in here. I think that it's possible that when I foam these walls, they expand it out a little bit more than I want. Okay, my handy dandy foam cutting tool. You know, the windows are beautiful. The thing that I dislike the most though is that, and I guess I could have paid a little more attention, but this thing is not square within the square, if that makes sense. And I'm not sure there's any room to move it. I probably just, it's going to be how it is, but would have liked to have it more squared up within the outline, you know, the flat black paint, but oh well. I think I'm not willing to try to change it because it was so hard to get in there, but on the next windows I might pay a little more attention to that. But if I figure out a solution, I could always come back, I guess, and work on it. But right now I just need windows in and weather tight, so. So, gonna get a look at the old versus the new here. Really, design hasn't changed much, and these old windows have held up incredibly well, so can't argue with that. But glad to have the new ones in. Okay, it's time to test fit this window and see if it is off like the other one. Yes. Fits like a glove. Happy day. Kind of makes me wonder if I had moved that one right, if I had actually gotten it to go in, but because on this one I put the right side in first and actually worked. Okay, let's put it in for good. Come on. Come on. There you go. I kind of pre-positioned this frame in there, so I could just put a screw right in a couple spots right away just to keep it from falling out. So I'm just going to immediately do that. So I'm going to use this old frame as my guide on how to do this one. And actually I'm going to remind myself how this one fit in case I want to, you know, actually, the way this one fit, you don't even have to cut out as much as they cut out. I could actually leave a lot more. So that's how I'm going to try to do, first of all, is not cut as much even as the original. Good, we can't invert it, but that would be a bad idea. I'd probably put it in the wrong spot. Yeah, I can open windows now. I just realized that. So silly of me. Oh, I got real functional windows. The old one's kind of open. In fact, this one right here probably is the one that, this old one probably is the one that actually does open, but it's a jagged edge, but it's going to be totally concealed, so let's see if we can. A little bit more. Just get a little angle on it. Okay, right there. Yes. That looks horrid. Just when I got the frame to fit, then I test fit the window, which is fine. Then I realized something that happens right here. So 2 1/4 is your wall thickness, and up here 2 1/4 is the wall thickness. But then it tapers, and where here this point it's only 2. So this wall is in 1/4, is bowed in 1/4, which means that even though I was able to wedge the frame in there, the window won't push in all the way with that frame, without the frame willing to come out a quarter. So I got to take a quarter off something. That's pretty much off the inner frame, which is more like the original was, and I thought I could get away with it, but I'm gonna have to dive in there and trim it more after I already painted it and sanded it and everything. Alright, so I made my little 1/4 inch adjustment there. Hopefully that's going to work. I'm going to have faith. I'm going to put it in here and put the window in and see what happens. Well, all the side windows are in, and I'll still need to repaint the front windows, but they're looking a little shabby, but that's for another time right now. I'm glad to see the front windows all in, looking good. Now I just placed the back window, and there's one spot that's not hugged up tight, and I'm going to kind of address that. And I went ahead and, I'm really short on time, but I decided to just go ahead and bang out a quick paint job on the center back window, and the frame for it is over here. And I'm cleaning out the shed now. I've got to get this furniture back in the boat soon, and tons to do, but just wanted to kind of show how it's looking. Talk about last minute, it's ridiculous.